Welcome to Center Heist Productions. Please hit the likes and subscribe down below in your right-hand corner. And thank you to those who are following the channel. I muchly appreciate it. And please share it and tell your friends and family to subscribe and hit the likes. That'd be muchly appreciated to help this channel, as we're just over 2 years. And we do a lot of reviews, and we'll be doing more, but we take a look at the inside of what's going on with the Habs. But we like to keep it honest on this channel, as far as we try to avoid rumorville as much as possible, so you get a good clean channel, and we respect each other on this channel. All right, we're going to get right to it. Habs had a back-to-back, after losing to the Rangers, where the referees were just a nightmare in that game. Probably would have had a better fate. Anyway, game two in Boston, you knew it wasn't going to be good. I kind of expected a blowout, but you know what? They did. The Habs, we have to say, did attempt and fought their way back into the game a bit. So that was a big bonus. So final score, I know it doesn't look good. There's an empty netter in there. Don't forget, it's 6-3 for the Bruins. Okay, so we look at the first period was a disaster. Three goals within like almost between 2 to 3 minutes, and it was just ridiculous. You can't have goaltending like that and breakdowns in the defensive zone like that either. But Primo's just flopping all over the place and down low continually, and just looked like it just wasn't pretty. Couldn't stop a beach ball. He was on his belly and down low, continually on his knees, even before the play was completed. Just not a great response. This guy should not be in the pros. And then a goal apiece we finally break the shutout in the second period, one apiece, and in the third, two apiece. Final score 6-3. Swayman gets the win. Primo looked like a nightmare, although defense was sloppy too. A lot of breakdowns. McAvoy got the winning goal, and he had a great game. It was this, anyway, Charlie McAvoy scored twice, one coming when Boston scored 3 times in 70 seconds. This was just ridiculous. This is when Primo should have been pulled during the opening period, and the Bruins celebrated the 100th anniversary of their first NHL game with a 6-3 victory over the Montreal Canadiens on Sunday. Charlie Coyle also had 2 goals, one during the outburst for the Bruins, who posted a 2-1 victory over the Montreal Maroons in their initial NHL game December 1st in 1924. Cole Caulfield scored twice, and Neil Heineman scored a beauty as well. So no doubt that as far as the stars, Charlie McAvoy definitely first star. He was pretty damn solid in this game. 2 goals plus 4. Coyle had a strong game, 2 goals, positive 2. And Cole Caulfield, 2 goals, he third star, and a -1. So the game starts off at 11:45. Charlie McAvoy scored, and assisted by Orstrol and Frederick. And then 12:40, David Pastrnak scores, assisted by Zaka and Morgan Geekie. And 12:55, Coyle scores, assisted by Kostelic. Second period comes. It was outrageous. Montreal goes on the power play, and Charlie McAvoy scores a short-handed goal. Just made bad play. I gotta say, a couple nightmarish plays from Matheson was just horrible in this game. Horrible. 5:42, Cole Caulfield scores one, assisted by Jack Guy and Nick Suzuki. Great effort by Jack Guy. It looked like you needed several replays to see how that goal got in there. It looked like it was Jack Guy's, but either way, just good to see him get in on the offensive play and make things happen. Good effort by Jack Guy, and Caulfield buries it. And once again, Caulfield scoring continues to keep things rolling in his point production. Third period starts. Coyle scores again, assisted by Coep Key. And then a 2:28. What a great setup from Lane Hudson to Evans. Evans over to Heineman, and what a one-timer that was. A beautiful shot from quite a ways out, too. Heineman just beautiful. He's been just such a positive for the Habs. That was at 2:28. Then we got at 6:38, Cole Caulfield getting one from Nick Suzuki, another good goal. 17:46, open net. Koepke, assisted by Beecher and Mark Kostalik on the empty net. Final shots. This was close in the shot department. 30-29 hits, 26-18 for the Bruins. Face-offs 33-28 for the Bruins. Power plays 0 for 2 for both teams. Penalty minutes 16 apiece. Giveaways 16 for the Habs, 10 for the Bruins. Takeaways 5 for the Bruins, 4 for the Habs. Block shots 20-12 for the Bruins. So the Bruins uh, uh, really did what we normally do as far as blocking shots, and there was a notable penalties between Kostelic and Jacky. But good, like I say, it's a shame. Defense just has lapses, but I'm sorry. At least today, we'll getting right into it. Martin St. Louis finally, after those 3 goals, decides to use a timeout. I think he's listening to us all in our updates and stuff, and that's a good thing because it needed to happen. But at the same token, seeing how close they were and seeing how um, Primo was playing, I would have pulled him on after the 3rd goal. He looked terrible. He just like Flipper, flop, 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 flop. But this guy's not an NHL goaltender. Bad enough our starter is a backup at best, and yeah, I'd be looking to see these 2 gone when success starts because neither one of these guys are going to carry anywhere. But like I say, Primo just should not be there. It's time to put that kid on waivers or trade him. Get him. It's time to get him out and go get yourself a veteran goaltender because I wouldn't want to disturb what's down in Laval. As both goaltenders, this mess has to work itself out. They have to make a few tweaks, and I wouldn't bring anybody up into this. To tell you the truth, we know that Harvey Pinard was waived, I believe, yesterday, and that's a good move because let's be quite frank. There's some people who like to pump the tires of Harvey Pinard. This guy is not an NHLer. This is another story like Primo. He probably has a better shot than Primo of being an NHLer, but he's not an NHLer. Um, Pure luck when he had his first bit of luck when he his first season. And last year we seen the true Harvey Pinard. This guy does not belong in Montreal. I do not see a future for him in Montreal. So glad to see him down in Laval. Maybe he can be a good veteran down in Laval and help them out in replacement of Waz in Montreal. But positives to the game. Good to see the Canadians fight back when you're down. 4-0. It's not pretty, and they fought back. That showed a lot of character. Excuse me, but Mike Matheson, if there's a guy who should have been benched today, that's the guy. And that's what I'm saying. There's different strokes for different folks because Mike Matheson should have been benched. He had a horrific game. Primo, I don't know what the hell we were thinking of keeping him in that net. That baffled me to see him still in the third. This was a game that got out of hand so quickly. You knew that we're not in the same league as the both teams, and I knew this going into this weekend. Hopefully, we'll be in the game against the Islanders coming up this week. I think that's Tuesday night game. It'd be refreshing to see somebody we should be able to compete with But again, good to see the fight. I just love Galley's nose for the net. Keeps working, and Heineman just fits in there so beautifully. This kid is, as I said, I know we all pretty much had, you know, give a lot of people gave up on him, and I know I was close to that myself. But good to see him come through like he looked 2 years ago, and this guy fits nicely in Montreal. I can see this guy having a consistent third line. He might even be able to fit on the second line as time goes. He's got a good work ethic. Hit, hit, hit. A lot of people could learn from him, and the same thing with the shot department. Even all the veterans could learn from him. Stop playing around with him and start to putting some shots on the net. And I just think a lot of guys could learn from this kid on the Habs. I thought Anderson still had a pretty solid game. Um, Evans had a solid game. Armia tried, and he had an all right game. Suzuki and Caulfield just looked wonderful out there, and I love the size. This kid, he just, it's so good to see him back after that injury. We had to realize that that shoulder injury was going to take a year. Good to see him back. Doc, let's hope he gets back. Played, at least he was throwing his weight around a little bit. That was good to see. Um, Defense, poor Hudson. I think he got dragged down a bit by Matheson. I thought, you know, our defense periodically they all kind of had moments, but I thought that Struble and Jacky uh, had they looked all right. They had some moments, but um, they did look pretty solid. You know, it is what it is. Um, you know, again, the defense does have lapses, and it's a continual thing. But there's no reason that those 3 goals at the very beginning of the game should have been in on. A good goaltender wouldn't have allowed all those goals. That's just some of those goals were pathetic. Him not being able to get from one side of the net to his other post, that was beyond me. And then, like the third goal was pathetic. Second goal wasn't that great. He just missed a flip flop. The breakaway, he's on his belly. Oh my goodness, he doesn't, and he seems like a good kid, but he doesn't belong yet in the NHL. There's no If someone wants to pick him up off waivers, let them take him. Good luck to them. This kid doesn't belong in the NHL, and at best he's an AHL goaltender. Then you got a problem if no one takes him off waivers, because I wouldn't even allow him to play in Laval with the 2 guys down there that we have. And I know we all would like to see one of those goalies move up. I think it might be a bad move just because things are so unstable in Montreal at the moment. I do think we'll see Lonnie probably against the Islanders. That might be and I think that was a wise move to keep him out of these 2 games. Um, and but like I say, I'm liking the fact that we're seeing some character out of our boys. So good on the Habs. Marty's, not dodging anything. Although, like I say, and Doc, like you say, there was some effort there. Hopefully, it's coming in the right direction. Because that was just a lot of bad luck with that penalty he took yesterday at the very end that cost us the game. But he's not the first guy to do that. So we got to watch. We got to watch how hard we are. I mean, I know the only thing I want to see with this team is they got to get an identity. They've got to get some grit on this team. Alex Newhook's an entire joke. Doesn't He's so soft, it's unbelievable, and he doesn't deserve to be on that first line, bottom dollar. Slavkovsky, I'm not impressed with his game today. Um, just didn't do it for me. Sorry, just not impressed today. Um, just very quiet, and maybe he needs that move up to get his confidence back. I'm starting to think so. He's got to get those legs moving and start hitting. And I don't know why he won't get physical like he was at the end of last season, because that's where his success was coming from. And he's got to use that frame. I don't know. It's just not looking pretty. I don't know why Michael Pacetta doesn't get, you can always rest between Doc and Slav periodically. Um, just a night off and get Pacetta in the game. New Hook. I mean, that's New Hook being on that first line is just. I can't. I'm blown away with this guy. What a disappointment this guy is. He does not work, and a lot of other guys would be on that first line, and they would be bearing a few of the chances he's had. So I'm not impressed. But anyway, it is what it is. I would say we got to go through the growing pains, but there are going to need to be tweaks. And I don't know what's wrong with Matheson, but tonight, maybe he shouldn't have spent. It almost looks like he had a night with his wife. I don't know what it is, but that's what it's kind of looking like. Maybe he needs to hold off of that until after the game. But it is what it is. He just looked really bad. I don't know what else to say, but good to see. Like I say, the one good characteristic, this team is not quitting, and that's the positive. You got a long ways to go. Need a real goaltender. This Watching the goaltending is just too hard on the head, and like I say, um, at least Monty can play, at times. But Primo, this has just gone too far too long, and like I say, it's time to start treating everybody equally. Like Mike Matheson should have been benched tonight. Let's be real. Um, Anybody else would have been like Slav when he's playing poorly. He's benched, but see, it's different strokes for the veterans, and that's what I don't agree with. I love St. Louis, but I don't. I like the different strokes for different folks. Thank you for watching, and let's hope things will get better. I think, trade deadline. It should be a time that the Habs start looking at buying as well, just because they got to start looking at that time when a trade deadline through the summer of bringing in guys in their trades that they make that are going to help the Habs progress, because this team has regressed, and it should be expected because we lost several veterans last year. I don't think people thought about that, and that's why we regressed. But now we need some players brought in trade deadline summer to progress us, because we don't want to end up like Buffalo, uh, Ottawa. I can't even figure out why Ottawa is not having more success than they are. That's kind of baffling. Uh, anyway, so thank you for joining me. You've seen it here at Center Heights Productions. Thank you for watching. Tell your friends and family, and share the video. Thank you. We'll catch you in the review against the Islanders. God bless.